Hi everyone, welcome to this video in which I will share with you an evaluation of the website for learning languages Busuu.com. Such evaluation has been done through different questions based on academic literature that has been written with the aim of knowing what are the factors that determine whether a website, an application, or a software can be successful when a person wants to learn a second language. So, first of all, rationale and a description. This website, when you enter the main page is this one. It says that you can learn a language with only 10 minutes a day, and you can choose from 12 different languages. It is very easy to get your account. It is mainly dedicated to people who wants to learn autonomously, so it should be easy to work with. So when you want to create your account, click here in create an account. Then you have to choose the language that you want to learn. If you are with a free version, you only can learn one language at a time. So here you choose your language, and then you have to provide your basic information, your name, your email, and a password. Or you can also start through Facebook or Gmail account. So once that you enter, this is the home page. As you may see, there are several icons that I will explain further. So it's time to start with my questions. The first section is one, implementation. And the question one is, does the website provide guidance, mediation, support, and involvement for the learner to be able to easily work with it? And yes, the answer is yes. There are several options that guide the learner through the website. The first one is a tutorial that you get from clicking on your profile picture, and then you go to Are you lost? And that's the tutorial. So it says, are you prepared? And it says everything that the course offers, such as grammar test. You can get feedback from native speakers. You can get vocabulary. So this tutorial guides you through the different sections. Let's see. Okay. So for instance, it tells you this icon is for lessons, where you can get vocabulary, grammar test. Here, there are the different levels, which are based on the European framework for learning languages. So that is your level that you want to study. You can choose from there. There's the section of community where you can share your exercises and you can get feedback from native speakers, and also you can give feedback to them. In the revision section, you can track your vocabulary, the words that you have learned, the ones that you need to work with. In the profile, you can also track all your activity, all your progress, your exercises. And there is also this section when you click on your profile. This is also the help section, where there are different questions. What is Busuu? What is a premium membership? How can I interact with other users? Is there a placement test? How can I cancel my subscriptions? Etc. So this is also help for learners to be guided during their work. And finally, when you put the cursor over an icon, they will tell you what is this icon for. For instance, in this case, it says this icon serves for your grammatical understanding, or this icon serves for flashcards. In this, you will get dialogues, etc. So it's very easy. If you don't understand something or don't know what is an icon for, you just have to put there the mouse and it will tell you. Question 2. Do the methods to access and navigate through the information enable learners to exercise control over the way they learn? The answer again is yes. It gives you this this tool that is for you to create your own study plan. You can get or set your objectives. You can organize your schedule. You can create your study plan. You can study the lessons as brief as you need, depending on your plan. And you can choose to do this one, or you can choose do it the standard form. But also, I need to mention that in this part, yes, it gives you the control that you need, but also it lacks more information for the learner to take decisions. For instance, when you enter the platform, you don't know what really is your level of the language. So for instance, in my case, if I want to learn Italian and I don't know anything about Italian, obviously I am A1, I am the basic level. But if I want to learn French, I already know some French. So I wouldn't know if I am A2, B1 or B2. So in that case, it lacks of a placement test. Next question, does the website provide evidence for the learner to track his or her own learning progress and the suitability of the level? And the answer is, well, to track the progress, yes. For instance, in this case, it tells you what is your advanced in fluency, how many words you know, how many days have you been active. It also tells you you have these words weak, these words are strong, these are okay, so you know in which word you have to work. For instance, these are my weak words, these are my okay, and these are my strong. So with that, I can take decisions on what do I have to pay more attention. Next, does the website application provide a good quality of interaction providing the learning with meaningful feedback? Well, yes, because in every exercise, it indicates you whether you choose an answer that is true or is false. If that's correct, it will get this green color. If it's incorrect, you will have the red color, as in this case. It was a mistake. So it tells you in the moment. And it also, when you're successful in an exercise, it gives you this kind of celebration thing, which that tells you, yes, you're good, you keep going. And about the meaningful feedback, the one that can be more meaningful is when you get feedback from native speakers. You finish a unit and you can go to the community section, submit your exercise. It can be spoken or written, and they will tell you, they can correct you, they can give you more advice on what to, maybe your pronunciation or your punctuation. It depends on the type of exercise. Section 2, interface design. And here, ay carajo. Okay, in this section, the question one is, does the website provide a variety of multimedia activities so that learners can be able to construct their own learning during the interaction with it? And the answer again is yes. Why? Because it gives you images, it gives you audio, it gives you video, it gives you text. So yes, there is a variety of multimedia so that the learner can construct their own learning interacting with these different media. In this case, this is the section for video. You can choose if you want news, if you want something more scientific. You choose the video that you want, and then you can comment on it. Question 2, the use of screen semiotics adequate to facilitate navigation. Again, the answer is yes, because as you may see, there are icons, there are colors in this case. As you may see, the yellow indicates the sections that are disabled because you need the premium version. However, in different lessons, the options that are disabled vary. So yes, I think I already mentioned the green for correct, the red for incorrect. The icons are very clear. The font size and the type of the font type is also readable. The chunking is good. It doesn't crowd the information. It's not crowded, so I think the semiotics are good. Signposting, everything is very clear. As you may see here is a dialogue, but it's not crowded. It's very clear, very good to understand. And this is an exercise, and one thing that I can tell is that, well, it is readable, it is brief, but at the same time it's not extensive enough. So students cannot practice extensive reading and those skills that require wider information. Question 3, is the screen layout uniform with a clear structure and a consistent method of navigation through the program? The answer again is yes. It is clear, it is uniform, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in what lesson you are, it's always uniform. It always tells you these are the lessons. In this lesson, this icon means flashcard, this icon means grammar, this icon means a test, this one a dialogue, this one vocabulary. So yes, it's consistent, it's clear, it's easy to use. Question 4. Is the website interface appropriate from an intercultural perspective, considering its diverse audience? The answer is yes, because first of all, the interface is, let's say, culturally neutral, because it doesn't have to do with one country or one region from the other. Everyone can understand the symbols, the icons, and yes, the only thing that you need, even if you don't speak or you don't use the Roman alphabet, there is the option for Japanese and for other languages. So yes, it's culturally neutral. And also regarding the target culture, in every lesson you can get these hints in this icon with this give you the tips, cultural tips. For instance, shall, you can say it's the most known greeting in the world. It tells you when you can use only piacere to sound more natural, and it gives you some culture tips, and it's very interesting and practical. Here again, it's culturally neutral. Section 3, L2 learning task. Let's see what it says. This is section number 3, and it's about L2 learning task. So the first question says, are production and comprehension tasks, including the 4 language skills combined with multimedia, to facilitate meaning processing and help learners develop their linguistic system in the target language? And we can say that yes, there are the different tasks are designed using different multimedia. So of course this facilitates the comprehension and then the production. So it's a good support, and yes, although again I say the tasks are very controlled, they always provide the model and learners have to imitate. Sometimes they can express themselves when they upload their exercises, but I will say it is a controlled practice. But yes, it's based in multimedia, which make it more meaningful. Here is an example of audio and image. Here it's only audio. You have to complete this and choose the different options. And those are only 2 examples. And question 2, does the design of tasks ensure that learners receive rich and meaningful information and content through multimedia so that they best facilitate the language comprehension and finally its acquisition? And well, yes, they receive input, but I will say it's not rich enough. As I already mentioned, it's limited. They do not have opportunities for extensive reading, extensive listening. All of the audios and the things that they read are like only sentences. The dialogues that they listen to are we can say short. So and it's also always taking turns. So it's not something very rich. It's not something extensive. So I would say that there is no much opportunity to practice other soft skills. Although the information could be meaningful for them. For instance, when they can interact with members of the community and they can read about other people in other parts of the world, but again, it's very limited. Question 3. Does the task design meet the learner's practical needs, relate to real-life communication in the target language? This one, we can say that yes, the tasks are based on real life. For instance, I have here in the B2 level, I have some of the topics: the modern world, holidays, technology, study abroad, good and bad qualities. So those are related to real life. However, uh, does the task design meet the learner's practical needs? I would say to some extent yes, but also every learner is different and every learner has different goals and objectives. So we cannot say that it meets every learner needs, because then it could be an English for specific purposes course and it is not. So it is something general, it's something basic. But yes, most of the tasks are based on real life topics. Question 4. Do tasks promote the development and enhancement of the different soft skills, as well as the development and implementation of communication strategies? Well, as I already mentioned, in the free version, there is no possibility for synchronous communication. So this is not something similar to face-to-face communication because it doesn't happen in real time. So I wouldn't say that it foster a lot of communication strategies. However, they have the possibility uh, to share some strategies, for instance, or to use or to implement something, but with a lot of time to plan. So they can, for instance, they can predict, they can infer, um, but they cannot, for instance, uh, get clues from the context because it's not happening in the same moment. For instance, in this activity, estás en un bar, te toca pedir una ronda, pide algunas bebidas. So, as you may see in this type of context, it's informal, so you have to use informal language. They provide some tips for when you use formal and when you use informal. Or in this case, describe el piso de tu casa, habla de los muebles y las habitaciones. That can also be informal. So, depends on the situation that they tell you, you can use the language differently. But you have time, you can plan, you can correct. So, it is not like face to face. So I would say it promotes some strategies, but not enough. Section 4, L2 Acquisition Pedagogical Foundations. Question 1. Does the website provide opportunities for collaborative learning? And that is a big yes, because you can make friends in this website. For instance, here I have 2 friendship requests. I can accept, I can ignore. And if I accept them, then I can interact with them. I also can go to the community section and they will offer me friends who speak Italian, because that's the language that I chose. So I can, for instance, if I think that Fabiola may help me, I can send her a friend request. So yes, it provides interaction like social networking. And once that I have my friends, they will help me to correct and to give me feedback about my exercises. For instance, in this activity, it says practice what you have learned and get corrected by native speakers. So I can choose between a video or a picture, and I can describe, I can discuss, I can give my opinion, I can write it, or I can record my voice, and then I will submit it, and they will listen or read. They will give their opinion. They will provide corrections for me. So that's very important. That's something very useful. In this case, I have some notification of people who have asked me to correct their exercises in Spanish because that's my native language. If I would choose English as my native language, they will send me exercises in English, so I can correct both. Question 2. Is there evidence that the website contributes to reduce the affective barriers during the language learning process? And, well, in this case, there is not a big risk of going through sorry of going through affective barriers. Why? Because this is asynchronous communication, so students will not experience anxiety because they have time to plan. They are not face to face. They are not looking physically at the other person, so they can take risk. And so in that way, it does reduce the affective barriers, although it is an indirect effect. I wouldn't say this is something planned. Question 3. Does the website continuously promote the learner's active engagement to enhance their interest and motivation? Well, yes, in some ways. For instance, in this way, they are like congratulating me because I completed the lesson very quickly. It says, as you did it quickly, now you have 50% discount if you want to get your Busuu Premium. So that's a way for them to encourage you to get the premium, but also to give you encouragement for continue learning. So I think that's good. Another way to keep your engagement is with the feedback that I already mentioned from native speakers. I think that's very engaging for learners to be able what they are doing good or what they can improve. Question 4. Does the website provide opportunity for learners to foster strategic and communicative competence by helping them assess the characteristics of a language use situation, set communicative goals, plan responses, and control the execution of their plans? And the answer is, well, they give you some situations, as I already mentioned, where you can infer from the context. You can know how formal you can be, like in this case through the pronouns. So in that way, yes, it gives you advice, but I say again that it is limited. It's not really as the tasks are very controlled. I don't think they really can develop this strategic thinking, this communicative competence, because they do not have this freedom of interaction. So I think in that way, it is not enough. So now that I have explained all and answered all my questions, I will tell you what are the advantages and disadvantages of Busuu.com. First, the advantages is that it gives you access to 12 different languages. If you want to learn, you can do it. There is no need for a teacher's guidance. You don't need someone who is explaining you because the interfaces is very user-friendly. It's self-explanatory, so you don't need that help. The use of semiotics is really good because it helps you to know when you commit a mistake, etc. So I think that's good. The interaction, although it is limited, it is something that motivates the students to be in contact with people from other countries and with other languages. It is easy to navigate because of the signposting, the icons, etc. The use of multimedia is good. although the activities are controlled, but the multimedia is engaging. Guidance and support, as I already mentioned, it is very complete from the beginning. You can navigate throughout all the website without any problem because you have support. If you have doubts, there is someone there to answer. Collaborative learning, this option to get and give feedback from native speakers is really good. It allows you to learn more. Tracking progress of the activities, again, that's something good. Practical topics related to real life, intercultural communication, gives you even cultural tips, culturally neutral, target culture tips, I already mentioned that, and also opportunities to receive feedback. Disadvantages, does not promote authenticity, although the tasks are mostly predictable. Disabled options in the free version, those are a lot of disabled options. It is asynchronous. There is no a diagnosis test. The practice is really controlled. Lacks authenticity, I already mentioned. Do not promote soft skills. Limited amount of info, so they don't have enough input. Does not promote complexity. Communication does not replicate face-to-face, can be personalized, explicit grammar limited, the tasks are predictable. So, would I recommend Busuu? My answer could be, well, yes, but not as to say that it will allow you to completely master a language. It will give you only it will give you the basics, but it wouldn't be enough. So I would recommend this only to practice, and then you need to go to other options for be able to practice more with more freedom, to have more input, to have more interaction similar to real life, and to be able to build other soft skills and other communication strategies. So that's it. Is my answer. In part, I would recommend it, but not completely. These are my reference, and thank you very much for your kind attention.